Hello, I'm Clayton Burch, State Superintendent of Schools. 2021 has been a year like none other in the history of West Virginia public education. We've had a lot of challenges, but we've had a lot of achievements and successes in West Virginia public education. Thanks to everybody involved, from educators to our administrators to families, we have actually seen our way on a path to recovery. Because of the West Virginia State Board of Education and the collaboration with the Governor of West Virginia, Jim Justice, and to all 55 county superintendents, we actually see West Virginia coming back from the pandemic on a path to recovery. But in order to be in sync and to provide all of the supports and resources our children need, we all must be in this together. The West Virginia Department of Education and West Virginia Board of Education have a strategic plan. This plan forms the foundation and the framework for moving forward in the upcoming year. I'm excited that we're ready to share and talk a little bit about what this past year has been, what we've seen, the achievements, as well as the challenges. As we look back over 2021, we know that we started the year off being one of the only states in the nation to prioritize teachers for the vaccination. We were all glad to see our children come back to school, but we had to make sure it was done safely. And thanks to Governor Justice, our friends at DHHR, and the West Virginia Board of Education, we made sure that teachers and the education staff were prioritized for vaccination. This crucial decision allowed schools to open more consistently to in-person instruction. And we knew that the only way to get back on track was to get our children in front of their teachers on a consistent basis. As students became eligible for vaccinations, we wanted to continue our momentum, and the department launched the I Got Vaxxed to Get Back campaign. This encouraged students, educators, and staff to get the COVID-19 vaccination. 12 schools, 4 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, and 4 high schools that had the highest percentage of eligible vaccinated students and staff each won a grand prize of $50,000 to use for any student-based activities. We appreciate the hard work of these and other schools that participated in the competition, but more importantly, the commitment that our schools showed to vaccination and ensuring that every student, every teacher, every staff member had the opportunity to be vaccinated to get back to school safely. As we focused during the spring on getting children back, we also had our eyes toward the summer. During the summer, we knew that we had to get children engaged, keep them engaged to prepare for that not only academic learning gap, but the social emotional needs of the students. The Department of Education decided to use its $34 million from the ARP funding to give back to each and every county. And we asked each and every county to identify, create, and launch a robust summer opportunity. We ended up calling this SOL, Student Opportunities for Learning and Engagement. We wanted a comprehensive in-person summer learning experience that provided meals, that provided transportation, that engaged our students. We wanted this to look very different than traditional summer school. We wanted this to be a true time for students to come back together, to be with those adults, to be with their peers. And lo and behold, more than 29,000 students attended. One of the largest summer programs we've seen in decades at West Virginia Public Education. Our Summer Soul program was so successful. Not only did we see Summer Soul launch throughout the summer, we saw our athletics get back on track, we saw summer conditioning, summer practices, and things looked great as we led into the start of the school year. But as summer ended, West Virginia and the nation faced another surge of COVID-19 that threatened the first day of school. We knew that in-person instruction was critically important and our schools were the safest place for our students to be. We had learned many lessons during the past year of being in and out of school. And though the challenges still arose, our schools opened up on the first day and were committed to ensuring that classes were in person and that each and every child in this state had an opportunity to have in-person instruction on a consistent basis. During 2021, we also reached another milestone. So proud of the efforts West Virginia has been able to make over the last 20 years in early education and early learning. So proud that we have a State Board of Education, legislators, and a governor that recognizes the importance of all of our efforts around early learning. And even though the West Virginia Department of Education, the Board of Education is responsible for pre-K through grade 12 public education, we also know that all children in the state, all children, birth through school entry, are vitally important, that we focus on them and give them every resource available. And with that, we were able to become one of the first states to have full participation statewide in the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. This program offers free books each and every month to every child ages birth to 5 to encourage reading from an early age. West Virginia, I am proud to say, has delivered more than 3 million books to children since 2007. Throughout the pandemic, we continue to say that we cannot allow the pandemic to place children's futures on hold. We had to continue looking forward at our children's future. Earlier this year, the West Virginia Department of Education launched the Classroom to Career Navigator website. The Navigator is available online at wvclassroomtocareer.com. I encourage each and every student, family, educator, counselor, please utilize this website. It's a one-stop shop to really dig in and look at the potential for each one of our students right here in West Virginia. During 2021, we not only continued our focus on children and recovery efforts for our public schools, we never lost sight of the supports for our adults in the state of West Virginia. The Office of Adult Education here at the Department of Education launched the Never Too Late to Graduate campaign, featuring West Virginia native and America's Got Talent winner, Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. Hopefully, as you've driven up and down the interstates or roads around West Virginia, you've seen Landau on billboards. He's been a great advocate and supporter for adult education. He's been seen throughout the state not only speaking on the importance of adult education, but just how to encourage those adults to get engaged with their local adult education partners. If you can recall, during the 2020 school year, West Virginia Department of Education made the decision not to do the general summative assessment. We thought during that time there was too much unknown, the children were not in school. But when we committed to bringing students back to in-person instruction for 2021, we also knew that it was important to offer those general summative assessments, and it was the right thing to do. West Virginia offers all 11th graders in the state a free SAT, and for grades 3 through 8, we offer the general summative assessment for English, mathematics, and in 2 grades, science. Those assessments are key to understanding exactly how our children are progressing through public school and how to support them best. The West Virginia team here for the assessment services enhanced our supports to families by launching a customized video to go along with these assessment scores this year. This video provides information about the students' academic performance on the exams and resources that pinpoint gaps in their learning. We encourage families and students to view these videos together and connect with educators to address the academic challenges that we know each of our students face. We want to see our students continue to grow in the state of West Virginia, and it's resources such as this that strengthen that relationship between families, the student, and their teacher. Throughout the pandemic, it was evident that our friends at the National Guard stepped up to support us. We got to see a military presence during the pandemic, not only in our schools, but throughout the state. I'm so proud of West Virginia having a history of supporting the military, not only the National Guard, but all branches. And recently, the West Virginia Board of Education acknowledged enlistment as one of the 3 E's for college and career readiness. We want all students to know they have a viable opportunity to go on to college, continue their education, the first E. We know that many of our students come right out of high school in our robust career technical education programs ready for the workforce, straight into employment, the second E. But we also have a rich history in West Virginia for those that want to go on to a military career, which is the third E, and that is enlistment. And with that, I want to talk a little bit about the Purple Star Award. It was recently unveiled at the Common Ground Partnership re-signing ceremony, and we acknowledged the Purple Star Award recipients. These are schools and districts that have committed to providing dedicated support and services to students of military families. We know that if you're a child of a military family, you go through many transitions, both at home and within the family. With family members being deployed, oftentimes changing schools, we want to make sure that each and every one of our schools understands the stresses and the transitions that our military families go through. It's a critical time to reinforce the social and emotional supports in our schools, and these resources absolutely ensure consistent involvement in our children's lives and our school communities. So thank you to all that have been involved and all that support the Purple Star Award. It goes without saying, this has been an incredible year. Each of our state leaders, whether you're a superintendent, a principal, an educator, Whether you're in state government, whether you're here at the Department of Education, whether you're a family member at home, we've each faced challenges during this year. But I also want to recognize that we've each faced opportunities during this year to really reflect and focus on exactly what our children need, exactly what the role of our public education system means to our children, to our families, to our communities. And with that, I want to focus the wrap up here on a very, very special group of people, and that is our 9-member State Board of Education. Their support has been unwavering during this pandemic. They've had the ability as a Board of Education to really put first things first. They've had to make some critical decisions, and I cannot thank them enough for the decisions they've made to support and ensure the safety of our children and our educators during this time. But it was also the State Board of Education that has worked with the Department of Education and myself to create a unified strategic plan to lead us forward. This strategic plan does put the emphasis on what we want for each and every one of our children, that college and career readiness ready for life. But the strategic plan also creates a framework that looks at each and every one of those inputs that we want. We want to recognize the importance that all play in early childhood education to prepare our children for school. The emphasis that our middle schools play in preparing for those career explorations to continue to support our children and families. Our State Board of Education has really taken it upon themselves to not only focus on the academic challenges in the state of West Virginia, but the social, emotional, mental health, and overall wellness of our children. And with that, I want to send a special thank you to all 9 members for their dedication to the children of West Virginia. I look forward to 2022, where even more opportunities are on the horizon. What an incredible year again 2021 has been. Thank you.